Hey everyone, it's Jen. I'm not going to say that I absolutely, without a doubt, hate social media, but let's just be real. I totally hate social media just because I don't have the bandwidth and the time to be fully engaged all the time because, I have family and work. So some people can do it and they enjoy it, and that's great. I'm just not one of them. So, this is why I call my Pinterest strategy basically crockpot social media. The whole you prep it, you set it, and then you forget it. Okay. So I'm going to show you today how I do this. Okay. Now, first, I used to make pins in Canva. And because I do 3 to 5 pins per post and I make about 50 posts a month, 150 pins takes a long time, even when you use Canva templates. So for me, it not only was so repetitive and boring, I just hated doing it. So I didn't. So last December, I came across this program. It's called Pin Generator. And basically, you just plug in the URL for your post. It'll automatically pull all the images from that page, and then it'll place them into like 20 different pin templates. And then you can just bulk edit and pick a title. I usually just use the same title of the post. And then I just pick which pins look the best and I hit schedule. I do use ChatGPT to bulk put in a description because honestly, ChatGPT's just way better at it than I am. I suck at it. So, you know what? Let me show you how it works. Okay, so now that we got pins, where are we going to pin them to? We're going to pin them to boards. Technically, you should go ahead and create your boards first on Pinterest before you set it up to Pin Generator. So what I like to do is I like to go to the search bar of Pinterest and see exactly what people are searching for. This is the same concept of the alphabet soup method in Google, but a little bit different because Pinterest has its own SEO. So if you remember in my keyword research video, we did research for a website on potatoes. So in this case, what I did is I went over to Pinterest and I started with the word potato. And then here are some of the ones that I see a lot on Pinterest that I like to use. So in this case, I would do potato ideas, potatoes for, what to do with potatoes, how to make potatoes. And then you're going to see all these little additional words come up on the side. So in this case, where it says potato ideas, I would probably pick stuff like potato ideas easy, potato ideas for kids, potatoes idea for dinner. These are all really good names for boards, and that makes it SEO optimized. When you create your board, make sure to add a description on it. And basically, it could be literally, this board will be filled with potato ideas that work great for side dishes. This board will be about potato ideas for dinner that are easy and cheap, or however you want to add to it. Just I try to repeat that same key phrase in there. Okay, here we go. So Pin Generator is laid out very simply. So the first thing you're going to do is put the URL of your blog post. Under number of pins to generate, I like to do about 20 just so I have more options. Then it'll say select boards to pin to. So you come here and when you click on it, it'll actually pop up and show you all the available boards. And I know what silo this goes to, so I just picked the 3 to 4 boards that go with that silo. Then you come down here, and if you have branding or specific colors you want to use, you just pick those, or you can just leave them basic. I think the basic is actually like a pastel. Then go down to where it says bulk settings. And here I put literally the title of my blog post. And then for descriptions, you can do like the AI options up here, but it's going to cost you more credits. So what I do is I just go over to ChatGPT and I copy and paste the title and like the intro of my post because it usually tells you what I'm going to talk about. And I tell ChatGPT just to make me a Pinterest pin description. And then it pops this out. And it actually usually throws in emojis and it does really well. It does much better than I could do on it. And then at the very end, it's going to throw in some hashtags. Personally, I never added hashtags before because I don't really care, but it adds them. So it must be doing something well. Then you can set the brand, like your brand name, and then you can set a logo. So that way, on all these, in the spots where it's supposed to say what the brand name is and what the logo, it'll automatically fill it out. Then once you see the ones you like, that one, I like it. You just click this little one and set add to queue. Then, ooh, it's doing something. Sometimes it is glitchy. I will tell you that sometimes it kind of stalls out, but overall it's great. And then you just click the 3 to 4 that you like the best. And then I just keep doing this over and over again. And sometimes if it takes a little while to get going, because it takes a couple seconds to pull all the images and auto load them. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and work on the next description. So that way I'm not just sitting there, I'm just constantly in this mode. Then you can go over to schedule, and where it says edit schedule settings, you can tell it exactly how many pins per day. I don't even mess with the posting times. I just leave it the way it is. Then after you have gone through all of your posts that you want to pin for this month, then what I do is I do the smart shuffle. This goes through and makes sure that you don't have any duplicates on the same day. And then it's work. That's it. I mean, literally so freaking easy. And I can do 2 full sites with full sharing using up my 600 credits every month in about 3 hours or less. Now, unlike other social media like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest is a long-term game. As soon as you start pinning different pins from your blog posts, don't expect much. Now, this is weird, my first article that I wrote, I made an extremely ugly pin and I pinned it. And within that first month, it actually went mini viral. I was like, what? So within the first month, I was getting like 100 clicks to it a month. And it totally skewed my numbers because it didn't really make sense. And I have tried to recreate that multiple times and it hasn't happened. So I really just got lucky on that. But typically, the pins that I pin, depending on if it's seasonal or if it's trending right now, it usually takes 1 to 2 months for them to start getting impressions. And just like other social media, the more people interact with it and search for it, the more it gets shown. But the great thing is that mini viral pin that I pinned almost 2 years ago still brings in over 1,000 views a month to that one post. So don't expect super quick results, but when you consider how little time you put in it using this method, it's a really high return. Now, I do want to mention there are some pitfalls of Pinterest. Not only is it a long-term thing, but don't get sucked in to things like followers and the number of impressions. These are truly just vanity metrics, and the only one that I even remotely care about is outbound clicks. I don't even care if you save my pin, honestly. I just want you to click on it and go to my website. So right now, Site 1 currently gets about 20% of its traffic from Pinterest, and Site 3 gets about 25%, but it's really a food niche, so it makes sense. Now, if you start really slow with Pinterest, you're going to have a much better chance. And what I mean by this is when you're first starting out, only pin 2 to 3 times a day for the first month. And then the next month, go to 4 and then 5, and then just keep bumping it up. I've been doing this since December, so that's about 8 months. And I think I'm at either 10 or 12 pins a day. So don't start off pinning 20 pins a day, because then Pinterest will actually think you're spam. They don't like a 0 to 100 strategy. And really, Pinterest likes consistency, but they do not like spam, and you can actually get your account shut down. I mentioned this at the beginning, but unlike other social media, you don't truly have to engage on Pinterest. In the real year that I've been doing this, I think I've had 1 comment. And I have people start following me. I think I have like 60 followers. But like I said, that doesn't mean anything to me. What really matters is that it gets people to the site. The other thing too, as I warn you about, is don't have clickbaity titles. Put your titles for what it actually is. If Pinterest determines that you're doing clickbait to get more clicks, they can close your account. So The really funny thing is that in certain search results, my post will be at the top within the 1 to 3 spots. And then you'll see an actual post from Pinterest with the little pins at the bottom. And sometimes you'll see 1 or 2 of my pins in there. So in one SERP result, I'll be shown in like 3 or 4 different spots, which normally you can't do that, but Pinterest allows me to do that. Now, I also have a ton of backlinks from Pinterest, and Pinterest has a really high page authority and DA score. And I don't know necessarily if that's helping me, but I think it's all these where Pinterest gathers things for different keywords and puts them all together, but it seems to be helping. So really, I mean, minimal effort, pretty big return. One last thing I also failed to mention is that my RPMs for views from Pinterest is not as high as the Google traffic, but it is higher than other things like Yahoo and Bing and stuff like that. So to me, it does seem to be worth the little time that I invest in it. And I actually really like the whole truly set it and forget it model, because I'm just not jumping over to Facebook or Instagram anytime soon. And plus, you have to constantly feed that machine. More than likely, you can't pre-schedule everything on those platforms and get as big of a return. And you know what? I think getting 1,000 page views for 3 hours is pretty good, because that's considering how much I normally take writing a post. So by skipping one post and doing this on Pinterest, I get 1,000 views. I think it's worth it. So I'm going to put the link below. It is actually an affiliate link, but if you don't want to use it, just go ahead and search it. And the guy that does Pin Generator, he actually has a ton of videos. So go watch it. Don't take my word for it. Go check it out.